Hi guys, and welcome to Neeks Sports. I'm here out in Nice, the home of the world champions, but there's pressing issues at home that a lot of the Premier League clubs are dealing with, and that is the transfer market. Massive summer transfer market, as the majority of the top six try and close that gap, that mammoth gap to Manchester City. Liverpool look like they are the ones doing business this summer. They've made a number of signings already. Naby Keita, Luis Fabiano. We know they were in for Nabil Fekir. We'll see if that one progresses. But in the latest transfer news, you could say it's a massive coup. 75 million euros, 67 million pounds. Liverpool have had a bid accepted for Roma and Brazil's number one goalkeeper, Alisson. There was a lot of discussion over the summer, even throughout the season, to be honest, about Liverpool's goalkeeper. First it was Simon Mignolet, then it was Loris Karius, and then Jurgen Klopp was just switching between the two. He didn't know who's best number one, and I don't blame him because both of them are as bad as each other. But he settled on Loris Karius as his number one in January. He said, "You are the man to take us forward." And boy, did that backfire. Champions League final against Real Madrid, and he made two catastrophic errors. First, the opening goal for Benzema, and then secondly was the winning goal from Gareth Bale, or the third goal, should I say, from Gareth Bale to make it 3-1 in that final. And I think at that point, his obituary was written. His days were numbered. Now, he may still remain at the club as a number two, if he's happy to do that, but he cannot be Liverpool's number one if they are planning on making major moves in the Premier League and also in European competition. I'm not going to say he cost them the final in the sense that Real Madrid were the dominant team anyway, but his errors put Liverpool on the back foot on more than one occasion. And it looks like Jurgen Klopp has seen what everyone has seen for the longest while, that he is not good enough if Liverpool want to challenge for the big trophies. So they got in for a very good keeper. 75 million euros for any goalkeeper. You must rate them very highly. We'll see, one, if the deal gets completely over the line. Roma have accepted it. Liverpool put in a bid earlier, just below the asking price with add-ons and all that. Roma said, nope, we want the money. We want the 75 million euros. And obviously, no add-ons included, but it might be phased in terms of the payment stages. But that bid has been accepted, and he will now have to agree terms with Liverpool and do his medical. But based on what we've seen in the last few years, and obviously the World Cup, passing the medical shouldn't be any problem. We'll see if they can come to an agreement. We know in the past Liverpool have, when it comes to getting deals over the line, sometimes they've struggled or had to pay over the odds, etc. But they're getting their business done well early. We know the transfer window closes earlier this summer. It closes before the Premier League starts. I think it's like the 10th of August. So clubs need to get their deals done. Another transfer deal that has happened is the transfer of Daley Blind from Manchester United back to his home club, Ajax, where we bought him from. It's a £14 million deal, which could rise to 18 million, which I think is pretty decent business. We bought him for about 16 million a couple of years ago under LVG. He obviously was in favour under LVG. He played for Van Gaal for Netherlands as well. But I've always felt he lacked something in the position that he plays in the Premier League. He's lacked something. Now, if he played as a as a deep line playmaker, I think he could get away with his lack of physical ability. But playing as a fullback, a wing back, or a centre back in this Premier League era, with his lack of, with his height, pace, strength, he's going to struggle, and he has struggled. He struggled to hold on his position, or a position in the team. And under Mourinho last season, he only played, I think, maybe 10 games maximum throughout the season. So he's definitely not in favour. Whether his out means Man United will be replacing him, I said he wasn't in favour last season anyway. But we know that there is still a lot of talk about Manchester United going in for Juventus's Alex Sandro. So whether him going out, and possibly we'll see what happens with Luke Shaw. There was also talk about Everton wanting Luke Shaw this summer, but Luke Shaw wanting to stay and fight for his place. He's only got 1 year left on his contract. So whether it's this summer or next summer, if the manager and the club want him gone, he's going to be gone within a year. So we'll see how that progresses. Another more transfer news in terms of Manchester United is the talk about Paul Pogba. We know he had a match-winning performance, man of the match he was for France in the World Cup final against Croatia, and he was one of the best players throughout the tournament. Any midfield opponent he came up against, he completely dominated. He was able to play in a position where people said he couldn't. The two of a midfield, he needed the three, he needed protection, etc. But he done that job, and he done it brilliantly throughout the tournament. And let's talk about him going back to Juventus to play with Cristiano Ronaldo, and if Zinedine Zidane goes in as sporting director as well, that'll be 3 massive signings, you could say, for Juventus this summer. But that is very, very wide rumours at the moment. Nothing confirmed, just a lot of talk about him going back. I'll be very, very surprised if he returns to Juventus this summer. He's got unfinished business, as he said, in Manchester United, in the Premier League, and he hasn't done that yet. But if the World Cup performances are anything to go by, hopefully, as far as I'm concerned and Man United fans, he can replicate those performances over the course of the season in a Manchester United shirt. That's it from me for Neeks Sports Transfer Update. See you soon with your news.